Welcome back. Questions for Gannon Buhr.
Hi, Gannon.
Hey.
I'm Zoe Andike here, and really just stoked to talk to you. First of all, congratulations with Las Vegas Challenge.
Thank you.
First big, huge win in the Pro Tour?
No, but I wish.
Sorry, runner-up. My bad, excuse
That's
me.
all good.
But the pressure of being in that position is leading into my first question. Here we are at one of the most challenging weather and out of bounds, so much character at this course. What is your attack plan to see yourself in that type of situation again, like Las Vegas?
I think just getting off to a hot start, kind of dealing with the conditions tomorrow. I'm hoping for like a 6 down to just get my tournament going, and then hopefully turn it on for the last couple rounds. But I feel comfortable in the wind, just being from Iowa. We have a lot of it, and the cold doesn't bother me too much. Just got to keep my hand warmers on, and I'll be all good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what are the discs that we will see you depending on pretty heavily throughout this weekend?
Yeah, I have some overstable D3s I'll be throwing in a lot of the wind. My X1s are really overstable. I'm really digging the distortion right now. It's kind of a overstable approach putter. Forehand and backhand on any approaches or in the woods as well for shot shaping. My M4s, my M2s, just nice straight mid-ranges, and just some more flippy discs like some flippy D2s for shot shaping in the woods.
All right, and that was all about this weekend. For the viewers, I'd like to ask you a couple questions about disc golf in general. How old were you, Gannon, when you first started playing?
I think it was like 9 or 10.
And who introduced you to disc golf?
I technically did myself, but I was watching Brody Smith's trick shot videos on YouTube with his ultimate frisbees and stuff, and we had just moved to a new house, and in our backyard we had a basketball hoop, so I decided I wanted to try them myself. So I went to the store to buy an ultimate frisbee, and I bought a Champion Firebird by accident. And then
Quite different.
I kind of just stuck with it from there because it was more fun than the ultimate frisbee was.
Awesome. Okay, last question. I've heard that back home you've got a couple of dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get a chance to do any kind of video check-in with the pups back home while you're on tour?
Yeah, a little bit. One of the dogs is kind of crazy, and but yeah, sometimes FaceTime if my brother's home taking care of him. But yeah.
Very cool. Well, good luck this weekend, and we've got Brian Earhart here next.
Hello, Gannon.
Hey.
A couple questions for you. First off, after that epic battle with Drew, obviously missed about a 35, 40 footer from the sand trap to cost you the tournament, but after an incredible battle, Drew in his interview called you the future of disc golf. That is a pretty big label to put on somebody, but you're 16 years old,
yeah.
And even in a decade, you're going to be younger than me, so pretty safe to say that you're the future of disc golf. But the future of disc golf as a whole for me is looking like Circle 2 and Circle 3 putting now. The range on the top players when it comes to putting is incredible right now, and your putt is displaying that. We watched it at Las Vegas. You hit a lot of really solid long putts. Even from a standing position, you were hitting some beautiful putts. I know a lot of people said that you were modeling your backhand after Will Schustrick. Did you model your putt after anybody, or was that just more trial and error and realizing that you had to get more range?
Yeah, a lot of it was kind of just, I used to have like a weird funky putt, but I don't model it after anybody. Maybe a little bit of eagle, just kind of naturally. That's kind of how I look like when I putt. But I do come down to like my left side, which a lot of people don't do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it allows me to line up my whole upper arm, so that way it takes out my shoulder hinge. It's just an up and down instead of a left to right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, along with just tons of reps and stuff, has kind of led me to be a pretty solid putter. It's definitely something I work on the most, I'd say. Whenever I'm bored, I just go and putt. So I'd say, yeah, just getting lots of reps in and stuff like that, but I don't really model it after anybody.
And then you mentioned to me at, I believe it was the Discraft Great Lakes Open last year, we actually played on the same card together, and you mentioned to me that even at the age of 16, you mentioned that if you didn't push disc golf as hard as you could right now, you felt like you'd be missing out on something. And here you are after a fantastic performance in Vegas. Everyone is really excited about where you're going with disc golf. Is there anything else in a teenager's life right now with all this success that you're having to focus on? Like, where is school for you?
School's kind of annoying right now just because I have to miss a lot of it and then come back and, make it up, like history tests and whatever. That's just kind of frustrating to deal with because I really want to focus on my game. and having that be like almost like a full-time job, going 7 hours a day for 5 days a week, unless I'm missing school, it's not fun. But so that kind of gets in the way of it. But I do my best to stay caught up and just get the work done beforehand or afterwards. That way I can come to these events.
So you're saying you're pretty focused on disc golf right now, and that's looking like the next few years of your life.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks, Gannon.
Thank you.
Hey, Gannon. Hayden with the PDGA.
Yep.
You broke out here a year ago and made a league card. What's it like being back on this property after the year that you had and the start to the 2022 season that you've had?
Yeah, it's pretty magical to be back here, especially it was like my second Pro Tour event ever last year. It's one of my favorite courses on tour as well, and I think it fits my game pretty well if I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's just it's a happy place for me. I think it's a course that I just have a ton of fun at, and I think that can lead me to shoot some good scores out here.
With all the success and all the hype and all the interviews you've had over the past couple weeks, I mean, how do you kind of temper expectations for yourself and keep it even keel?
Yeah, I think just staying humble and, knowing that I did play good, but it's tough to do that, obviously, every single weekend on the Pro Tour. But I think just, put that in the back of my mind that tournament's over. I just got to, focus on the next tournament, which is this one, and, kind of just play each hole as it goes.
Hey, Gannon, Chris with Gatekeeper Media. This time last year was the first time we actually saw you on our coverage for Chase Card as well. What part of your game do you think you improved the most in your 2021 touring? And then what part of your game are you looking to improve in this 2022 season?
Yeah, I think what improved the most for me was just my sidearm distance and versatility. I've always had a pretty solid sidearm, but I had knee surgery a couple years ago, and Waco was one of my first events back after my knee surgery, and it was on my left knee, so it was my plant leg, so I had trouble getting distance. And I probably gained about 100 feet. If I really get on one, I can get one out to 440 right now with a max distance shot. And it's a super useful technique, especially on tour, being able to throw more overstable stuff on some of the more open holes that have OB instead of having to, work with flippy stuff to get the distance. So that helps a ton. And something I'm working to improve on is definitely just kind of the whole of my game. Consistency, I felt like it was pretty solid last year, but I want to be getting top 10 at every single event or even top 5. So I think I just got to keep grinding on every single aspect of my game. That way I can, finish near the top at every single event.
Hey, Gannon. Raul from MX Disc Golf. So what advice would you give new players right now that are just starting in the game?
I would just say stick to it. It can be kind of frustrating at first with, seeing other people be better than you. I think as long as you focus on your own game and, put in the work to improve, I think that it'll come with time. And I think just realizing that, it's your own game. You don't have to really copy anyone. Just do your own thing and keep practicing and working hard, and it'll pay off eventually.
Gannon, thank you very much.
Thank you.